The first step in launching a distributed denial of service attack, or better known as a DDoS attack, is to recruit an army of bots. In order to turn a computer into a bot, attackers develop specialized malware, which they spread to as many vulnerable computers as possible. Malware can spread via compromised websites, email attachments, or through an organization's network. Any users tricked into running such malware will unintentionally turn their computer into a bot and provide an access point for attackers to their computer. Once a computer turns into a bot, it connects to the attacker's command and control servers, and it begins to accept orders from these centralized machines. The orders from the command and control servers include directions for launching an attack from the bot's malware to a particular target using selected attack methods. An army of bots is named a botnet and usually consists of thousands of bots. Anytime the botnet owners want to launch an attack, they send messages to their botnet's command and control servers with instructions to perform an attack on a particular target. Any infected machines in the botnet will comply by launching a coordinated, well-timed distributed attack, known as a DDoS attack. Launching a large-scale DDoS attack is not a difficult task to carry out. One doesn't need to create its own botnet, as various pay-for-hire DDoS services are available. Anyone using such a service can launch a powerful DDoS attack on a target of their choice for anywhere from $5 to $200 per hour, depending on the attack size and duration. An average duration of a DDoS attack is about 24 hours. The motivations behind DDoS attacks can be financially driven, pursuit of crippling a business competitor, hacktivism, political, or even just for fun. No one, however, should doubt the potential cost of a successful attack. The business impact of a DDoS attack is substantial and can involve financial losses, reputation damage, customer agitation, and legal.
Let me enter Usman Khan 123123 at gmail.com and password is Dr. Neya. Doctor Neya. So I will log in. Nothing will happen, but let's go to be what is given and I click here. Oh, Usman Khan 123 at gmail.com, Dr. Neya. It gave us email ID and password. Basically, Beef launched a phishing page against that browser which was hooked up in it. So you can see Waterhole tag, how this Waterhole tag works. अब जितने लोग इस वेबसाइट को एक्सेस करेंगे, इस क्लिक हेयर पे क्लिक करेंगे, उतने मेरे पास ब्राउज़र यहाँ पे शो हो रहे होंगे मुझे, और मैं उन सबको ये फेसबुक पे फिशिंग लिंक भेज सकता हूँ, किसी को भी भेजता हूँ. इसमें गूगल का भी मेरे से है, गूगल का लेट्स ट्राई गूगल, लेट्स सी गूगल will work or not. 192.168.1.6 and execute. Okay, let me see. गूगल, ओके, गूगल का भी इसने मेरे सामने पूरे फिशिंग लिंक खोल दिया. आप देख सकते हैं ये ओरिजिनल गूगल का नहीं है. यहाँ पे इसने वो मेरी आईपी VMware की आईपी मुझे आ रही है. लेट मी उस्मान खान @gmail.com, डॉक्टर नैया, साइन इन. Nothing happened, but it redirects me to the original Gmail service. Now go and see. Okay, Usman Khan 123, password Dr. Neya. So you can see how it's easy to launch a Waterhole tag, and you can do too many things with some. So please don't try it for a negative purpose. People use it for Facebook hacking, but only try to learn something from it. I especially made it for Sasaki Shubir for web security class. So thank you to see. I will come back with something more.
So this is a very high level overview of how this attack works. The main components here include the victim, the attacker, the fake access point, and a router with an internet connection. So what's happening is the attacker is connected to the internet, and the attacker is going to share that internet connection through a USB network adapter, which is acting as a fake access point. And when someone connects to that fake access point, they'll be able to access the internet. Now let me walk you through this process. The first thing that's going to happen is the victim is going to connect to the fake access point. Then the victim's internet traffic will be routed through the fake access point and to the attacker. Once the attacker obtains the victim's internet traffic, the attacker will manipulate and log the victim's internet traffic with SSL strip. And this is going to allow the attacker to force the victim to use HTTP, which as a result is also going to allow the attacker to capture any usernames and passwords that the victim enters. Once SSL strip is finished manipulating and logging the victim's internet traffic, the attacker will forward the victim's internet traffic to the router, and finally, the router will route the victim's internet traffic to whatever website the victim is attempting to communicate with. So what we've done here is we've placed ourselves between the victim and the website. So as a consequence, we can see any interactions that are occurring between the victim and the website. And this is also referred to as a man-in-the-middle attack. So that concludes the explanation. So let's go ahead and get started with the tutorial. The first thing that we need to do is we need to connect to the internet. And we're going to accomplish this by sharing our host operating system's internet connection with our Kali Linux virtual machine. And this is essentially a bridged or a wired network connection. And I've chosen to do it this way so I can eliminate the need for a second USB network adapter. But keep in mind, if you do have a second USB network adapter, you can use it to connect to the internet directly from your Kali Linux virtual machine instead of using the method that I'm going to show you here. So let's go ahead and move over to our host operating system.
In this short video, I'm going to show a real-world example of phishing, because I got a phishing email today. So phishing with a PH is an online activity where people try and steal your personal information. It's usually done with an email, when they get your email address from somewhere, and a fake website. So they make a fake website to try and trick you into typing in your personal information. It's much easier to hack a human being by tricking them than it is to hack into a computer, that's for sure. So let's have a look at the email I received today. I use Google Mail, and this is Google Mail, and I got sent an email today that said, suspicious login attempt denied. We detected an unsuccessful login attempt from an unfamiliar location. Now that scared me a bit, and I know that Google do send emails like this when someone tries to hack in to your email account. They let you know that it's happened, and that's a really useful service. But I don't believe this is a real email from Google, and one of the reasons I believe that is because I've checked the email address it came from. It came from do not reply at linux4.centraldnserver.com, which I've never heard of. I would expect an email from Google to include an address that ended with at google or gmail.com or .co.uk. I don't expect them to use such an obscure email address. So that's one thing that may be suspicious. The other thing that may be suspicious is that the link they want me to click on to type in my information actually doesn't go to www.gmail.com, even though it looks like it does. If I hover over that link and look in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, I can see it goes to secretsweightloss.org. So let's click on it and have a look. So it loads up a form that looks like Google Mail. It's got the Google Mail logo, but anyone can get that logo off the internet. And the boxes it asks you to fill in do look like Google, but anyone can make a blue rectangle. It's not difficult. So they want you to type in your username and your password and some other stuff, although they probably won't use that. They just need your username and password to get into your email and find out everything about you. But the clue up the top is that this address, this internet address, secretsweightloss.org, what has that got to do with Google Mail? Nothing at all. So I am very, very suspicious of this email, and for that reason, I'm not going to fill in this box, and I'm going to go back to my email, and in a moment I will click on this exclamation mark to report this as spam, which means that the real Gmail team can look into this and hopefully contact or shut down the people who are trying to trick me into giving them my personal details. And that's a real-world example of phishing.
called malware. The overwhelming majority of malware is created to make money illegally, often by stealing sensitive and confidential information from victims' computers and mobile devices. Malware can also be used for cyber vandalism, cyber espionage, hacktivism, cyber warfare, and various other reasons. Malware can make entry onto your computer via questionable file downloads, visiting infected websites, or through email containing a seemingly benign link or attachment. Common types of malware. Viruses. Almost all viruses are attached to an executable file, which means the virus may exist on a system but will not spread until a user opens the infected program. Viruses often originate on the internet and spread when downloading a file infected with a virus, peer-to-peer file sharing, or email attachment. Trojan. A Trojan is a harmful piece of software that looks legitimate. Users are typically tricked into leading and executing it on their systems. Trojans can not only steal your sensitive data, they can also give cyber crooks access to your system. Trojans are employed to gain access to your computer's financial and personal information. Ransomware. Ransomware holds your PC hostage and demands money. It locks up your computer, threatening to destroy data, demanding ransom or a payment for release of your data, files, or to regain the ability to use your computer again. Spyware. Spyware secretly gathers private information about the user activity, such as internet usage, and logs keystrokes via the process of keylogging to steal passwords and other sensitive data. Worms. Worms can replicate themselves and infect multiple computers on a network, causing major damage. Network worms often use computer networks to spread, slowing down traffic and relying on security failures such as outdated operating systems and no antivirus programs installed. In contrast, viruses require the spreading of an infected host file. Worms are a standalone software and do not require a host or human help to spread. The best way to protect your system from malware is to keep your operating system clean by downloading regular patches.
This video will demonstrate how a simple ClickJacking attack can lead to unintentional messages being posted in Facebook on behalf of an unknowing user. It often starts with an enticing message that lures users to a site like this. Whenever a user clicks on the link to start, content from a remote site is loaded and integrated into the website, here seen as a picture of Uncle Sam. Disguised as a verification check, the user is asked to click on two colored boxes in order to prove that he is human. After this task is completed, a page that mimics the look and feel of Facebook asks the user to verify his age by following a few sponsored links. Following any of the sponsored links leads to advertisement sites or premium phone subscription services. While the main site waits for the user to interact with any of the ads, something mean already happens behind the scenes. If we check the user's profile, we realize that this page has secretly been shared with all his friends. So all connected friends will now see this update notification, and some might even fall for the bait and click on the link themselves. What the user did not see was that the loaded content of Uncle Sam actually contained a hidden secret. If we start the same process again, but this time with the Firefox browser extension NoScript enabled, we see that when we click on the red box, we actually click on an invisible layer that was loaded by a script. The content of the invisible layer is the Facebook share button, conveniently placed under the user's mouse pointer. This means that when we click, we actually click on the top layer and trigger the invisible share button. The same happens when we supposedly click on the blue box. In reality, we are about to click on an invisible iframe filled with the Facebook like button, hence posting this link to all of our friends. This is a classical ClickJacking attack, which we have seen many times in similar variations. Therefore, always be skeptical if you see tempting messages being posted in social networks. Even when they seem to be posted by friends, they might just have fallen for a fraud themselves. If the site asks you to download and install something or fill in questionnaires just to see a picture, then you should refrain from
video I'm going to show you how XSS vulnerabilities work by demonstrating how to exploit this flaw on a website. XSS vulnerabilities work by allowing the attacker to insert his own JavaScript code into the website and then wait for other visitors to visit that same website. When they do, the JavaScript code is downloaded onto their computers and executed. Let me show you how this happens in action. So, I have a website which I have created myself. This website has a guestbook inside it. The guestbook has an XSS vulnerability. So, it's a normal guestbook. I could type my message, hello world for example, and hello world is now part of the guestbook. Anyone who visits this page is going to see my message. Let's see what the HTML of this looks like. The hello world is part of the HTML page and that's why it displays to the user. Let me now put in an HTML tag hello bold, world, like that. Now HTML tag looks like normal text. Let me click on add message. What we will see here is it says hello bold world now. Look at the HTML code. I have manipulated not only the text on the page but also the layout. The /b that I put and the b tag that I put is part of the HTML page. We could do something more interesting than that. Let's do image. I'm going to link to a funny image on the internet and I will take that from here. A wallpaper. Just close my inverted commas there, close the tag, add a bit of protection on those quotation marks. We will add the message and scroll down. You have been hacked. So I vandalized the guestbook like this. This is funny, but it's hardly a virus. Let me inject some JavaScript code now. I have some of it prepared over here. This is called a redirect injection. It will redirect the user's browser to a website of my choice. Let's go back in. I have the script there, added it, it's part of the website. Let me pretend I'm an unsuspecting user and I go to the AQ website that I have prepared before, click on the guestbook and I hope I didn't scare you too much. This is something you definitely don't want to happen to your users. What else we can do is steal a cookie. This code over here will steal a cookie of the visitor by opening a window to the hacker's website and transmit the document cookie with it. There's a big variety of different attacks that you could do using a cross-site scripting injection. Now, how do you stop this from happening in your website? The vulnerable PHP code is here, and this is what caused the bug in the first place. We could see that this is the text which is posted by the user through the guestbook, is inserted directly into the guestbook database. Now, this is information, this is data which came from the user. It must never be trusted. Filtering and proper validation of the input text would prevent this kind of attack. You would need to put filters for the script tag, filters for other HTML tags, filters on how long the data is as well. You need to take care of SQL injections as well in this type of scenario. So some sort of validations on the input text must always be done. Here I'm going to show you how you can automate the process of finding these types of errors in your website. I'm loading up the Akinetics web vulnerability scanner and I'm instructing it to to look for XSS bugs in my website. Okay, I'm using the default settings. A scan has begun and cross-site scripting bugs have already been found, 2 of which are in my guestbook. The one that I exploited is right here. Akinetics explains how the injection was discovered, gives the option for a few tools which you could use to fix the vulnerability, and it also gives you a detailed account of what cross-site scripting actually is to help you and your users keep yourselves safe.